Well, this is interesting. Like I said, it really does feel like a continuation. Let's have a look over here. Okay, so, yeah, here we are. I'm just going to pick up where we left off. Hello, Tina. Hi, Nikki. Hey, Path. I see you, Sarah, over there in Benghazi. There's Alsa, and there's Ivona. Hello, Ivona. I wonder who else is going to show up. Yeah. I see you guys. Greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, it's been a very, very unique time. I've been doing a little bit of homework here between yesterday's show and today, and it just keeps piling it on here. So let me just go check in with you guys, let you know that I'm actually here. Yeah, I'm out on a spacewalk right now. I'm way, way, way out there, okay? Because I had to get some perspective. You know, we can just be there like, padding around in our rooms, in our houses, in our offices, in our cars, and we're pushing all the pedals of life and steering the wheels of life and looking at everything in there. But sometimes, we need to get a bigger perspective. And that's kind of where we are now. And I feel like I'm in kind of a dream state at the moment, more or less excuse me. I had an itch. It's actually possible to have like an itchy nose even way out in outer space. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So before I forget to do this, I have to make another astrodoodle, but it's a different one. It's from the astroscope of Lumination. This is a very new, highly, highly advanced device. It is designed to look all the way through the solar system and out through the other side, and to see all the planets at the same time. Yeah, I know. It's radical. NASA doesn't know about this. Nobody knows. Elon Musk, Tesla, they have no clue. They don't have a clue what's going on, okay? The Russians, the Chinese, not even close. So, let me go and show you what I'm talking about. And these are the secret master plans, okay? Shh. You're not allowed to tell anybody, okay? This is all top secret, okay? Okay, it looks like this. I know. I know you guys are going to be blown away when you see this. You're going to be absolutely blown away. Now remember, this is happening live. We have not done any rehearsals or anything. Okay. I'm basically going to show you a manufacturing diagram that they're going to use for the manufacture of this scope, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is what we've already been doing in the research laboratories over here at Lumination Space Quarters. Okay, so it looks sort of like this again. Okay, now you might recognize this. However, this is now all blacked out. And you'll see why in a minute. Okay, now concentrate. You have to concentrate. So you remember yesterday we were talking about Lumination standing on Earth right there. I don't know if you can see it. I don't have fancy enough cameras. Taylor Swift is here. Yes! Taylor Swift, I knew you were coming to save me. Thank you. By the way, we still have to work on those contracts for when you're going to do the song Hey Oh, okay? So, just send them to me, and we don't have to tell anybody. I know you're probably like hunkered down, like in your beautiful home in Nashville with all your pets and your family and everything, but, we can still do business, okay? Hi, Taylor. Yes, thanks. Don't worry. We'll catch up in a minute. Yeah, I love you too. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think you're awesome. Yes, I know. Yeah, and you're a really great songwriter. That's fine. What was that? Hold on, I'm getting psychic. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And you want me to go on a world tour with you? Oh really? Oh okay. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. Anyway, so imagine this. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do this. Okay, watch this. I'm now going to sketch in what I actually see when I look through the Terra Lumination astroscope. Okay. Okay. I know this is going to look really strange. And then okay, so this is a pretty close-up, a very, very close-up view of what I'm seeing through the Terra Lumination astroscope. And guess what it is? You've probably figured it out already, okay? You've probably figured it out. Yeah, we'll connect. Don't worry, Taylor, we will connect, okay? You got my email. So guess what? This is Pluto. This is Saturn. This is Jupiter. And this is Mars. Okay? This is what you see through the Terra Lumination astroscope when you are staring out from planet Earth, from the secret headquarters of Terra Lumination, and you're looking at this configuration. Now remember, when we're looking at this configuration, this is the view from outer space, way, way outside the solar system. And you can imagine that Terra Lumination is up here in the Terra Lumination space bus, just flying through the sky. Yeah, just flying through the sky. Doing all sorts of research, you know, all sorts of studies, lots of test flights for Elon Musk and Tesla and the American space programs and everything. But a lot of it is based on the super hyper advanced systems that we have here at Terra Lumination. So what we saw here yesterday was, I wanted to remind you, this is the view of our solar system, okay? From farther out in the galaxy, okay? Farther out there. But what we did was we flew out. We went way, way high so we could take a snapshot looking from here. We had to take the whole spaceship. You see, the actual Terra Lumination astroscope is built into here. It's right inside here. I don't know if you can see it, but that is the lens of the astroscope, okay, in there. And then what happened is we used a special technology to turn the astroscope in space, live in real time, like this. Okay, so that the astroscope can look down onto the solar system, okay? And that's what you see. You see all the planets all lined up beautifully. And that was, the day before, like with, Neptune and Pisces and stuff over here, and Taurus and Uranus is over here, and the other planets are sort of over there and everything like that. But this is the big thing that we saw. And this is historical, okay? And we saw it from here, from the Terra Lumination astroscope. Yes. And it was an amazing thing to witness. Now, of course, this is what it looks like when it gets printed out from the Terra Lumination astroscope machine. But in fact, all of this stuff here, this is deep space. This is deep space, deep space, deep space, deep space. And the sun is sort of over here. Okay? So it gets very, very confusing, but I just wanted to let you know, this view is from the Terra Lumination astroscope when we were millions and millions of miles up in space the other day, taking surveillance shots, okay? Someone's got to do it. I have a private contract with, the federal government to do this stuff, and I'm not really supposed to tell you, but, I thought it's only a small channel, not everyone's going to know, not everyone's going to care. So, guess what? I'm going to check in with you guys. Hold on. Stay there. Yeah, right here. I'm right here, okay? We're way, way out in deep space, okay? Yes, Sarah, that is correct. You're absolutely right. In fact, I'm going to have to change the charts just to show you. Yes, exactly. But while we were doing all the photography and the sensors shooting down straight into the our solar system, I decided, Terralumination decided we have to go one step further. We're going to take the Terralumination astroscope, bring it down onto Earth level, roughly on the surface of the Earth, and line it up with the Terralumination headquarters and face the lens out towards the planets themselves. And that's how we got this amazing view. It looks just like this. See? That's the view. That is the view. There's Jupiter, there's Pluto, there's Saturn and Mars, and they're all zooming around the planet. Now, of course, Pluto's going to be stuck here almost on this screen for, years to come. And it took like, 12 years to get from here to here. Can you believe that? It took 12 years just to get from here to here. And we've got a few more years to go till it gets over here into Aquarius. Saturn, as you so rightly pointed out, Allsun mentioned it, and Sarah just mentioned it, Allsun yesterday, but Saturn, which was in Capricorn, it's now at the 0 degree point for Aquarius. I know, it's amazing. This is just your typical black surrounding that you would see when you're looking through an astroscope. Okay, over here is Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. On this scale, they look like they're not conjoined, but in fact, in reality, over hundreds of millions of miles, they are conjoined. So we used another lens. We used another lens on the astroscope. Okay, so if you can imagine, this is the astroscope, and it's looking this way. Okay, it's looking this way from the surface of planet Earth. Okay, it's just as if Terralumination had the astroscope in his bare hands and was looking straight out across the solar system, and you saw all these planets lined up. So this one is lined up here. I hope this makes sense to you. Pluto, okay, let me do it this way. There's a little bit more room. Pluto is lined up here, way, way far away behind Saturn over here, which is a bit farther away from Jupiter over here, and Mars over here. So all of these guys are lined up. They're not exactly perfect, but from the astroscope it looks like this, okay? Oh, Nikki wants to know, what does the yellow color mean? That means it's the astronomical, mind-boggling gravitational pull that these four planets have when they're all combined in such a way like this, okay? Because they're all pulling together in gravity just like the moon, okay? But these are much bigger and they're much farther away, and the gravitational pull has different meanings, okay? Now I'm just going to show you one more lens. When we took the other shot. This was all happened deep in the middle of the night. Okay, of course, there is no nighttime out there in the solar system, out there in the galaxy. But from Terralumination time, we did this overnight. Okay, so this is the same lens. Okay. It's the very same lens, and we're going in tighter. But when you go in, when you focus the lens out a little bit, what do they call it? The range of focus, it tightens up. So everything that we just saw over there now starts to look like this. Okay, now I know this looks like a work of insanity, but I will tell you what's actually happening here. This is Jupiter, okay? This is Mars. This is Saturn. Obviously you can tell now. And this is Pluto. Okay, now do you see what I'm talking about? Does this all make sense now? Okay. So this is the lens. When you pull back the lens, okay, we take the lens here that's lodged inside the astroscope. We take that lens and dial it back, just like you do on a digital camera or an old-fashioned camera. And this is the view, okay? When you put the lens way far out, this is the view, okay? But when you really tighten it up, it looks more like this. Okay, this is what it looks like when you get such a massive stellium. They're all lined up in a row, going this way, okay? They're all going this way, okay? And each of these are spinning around in this direction. I will just put this on. It all looks like it's going this way, okay? So eventually, Saturn is already moving on over here into Aquarius. Jupiter is still very close to Pluto. Mars is still right there, conjunct, and Pluto is right there. So these guys are right on it here. It's right now, today, 22nd of March, 2020. But Saturn is moving on, people. Saturn is moving on. Yeah. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I just could not keep this information top secret anymore. Someone on Earth has to know about this. Someone has to tell the president. Someone has to tell the boss over at NASA. This is what I'm seeing now here at Terra Lumination. Also, if anybody of you know, also, oh, by the way, in case any of you know, Deepak Chopra or the Dalai Lama, please could you get a message to them as well? If any of you have a direct link to the president, please email the president. Taylor, you might have some questions. Dear Taylor Swift, you might have some connections. So please, I'm asking you to take advantage of that on behalf of Terra Lumination. You don't have to say who it is or anything. It's okay. Shh. This is all top secret, but the world has to know. It's time for the world to know. Yep. Yep. Yes, it does look a little bit like Mickey Mouse. It looks like a mouse, doesn't it? You're right. Like a very strange mouse. You're right. Well, let's have a look. Wow. Yeah, it could look like... Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to draw silly faces on here. That would just be... Wait a minute. I forgot something. There's Saturn. See, I forgot the rings of Saturn, but that's one ring. That'll do for now. So there we go. Yeah. Thank you, Nikki. I'm glad you understand. Yeah. All this stuff is real. Everything that I'm showing you right now is real. Jeepers, how could you possibly doubt that? This is Terra Lumination. Okay? Jeepers. This is very super hyper advanced technology. Nobody on the world has the code or the intellectual property or the rights or the designs for any of this. This is the sole proprietorship of Terra Lumination. But I had to put it out on the channel for the world to know. And I know eventually that, everyone else in the world is going to know about this. But right now it's just between us guys, just us. We are the only ones on Earth who know about this, okay? And so this is incredibly important information that needs to be shared, okay? So tell everybody in the world, okay? There you go. Okay, so we're now going to scratch Saturn in Capricorn, and now we're going to actually put Saturn in Aquarius. Whoa! It's still very new over here, okay? You can't really see any difference. If you see any difference, don't you can't really see the difference on the charts or the computers or anything. But I hope you understand. Thanks, Taylor. Yeah. I'm glad you understand. Yeah. So, yes, it's quite mind-boggling stuff. So this is over. That's done. We're now at the 0 degree point. So, big shifts are happening, people. Big shifts are happening all over planet Earth. All right. Okay, I'm not going to go through those notes again. I just wanted to share the photographs that we got back from the astroscope today. This was happening live today from the Terra Lumination space probe. Okay, so we got that. Everybody understand now? Thank you very much. Okay, now it seems that the whole notification system for the channel is crumbling. It's even worse than ever before. So there's only a very tiny number of people here, and I wish there were more. I really, really do. So what I'm going to do is what we have done before. I'm going to invite any lurkers, silent supporters, any of the shy ones who are out there, and you'd like to watch this, but you've never done it before, you've never typed in a show like this before, please introduce yourself. Come and hang out with us. It's painless. It's actually quite a healing experience. Gabby girl, yay. We'll probably do some dancing later on. Yep. So, yeah. Okay, now I was very, very lucky to get a bunch of super chats last night, and I wasn't planning on it, but people started throwing money in the pot. On the other hand, tonight is actually called Sunday Night Live, and if anybody wants a little mini live super chat reading, you can do the super chat stuff, okay? And that applies to total strangers as well, okay? You don't have to be a long-term Terra Lumination member or anything. You can be a complete stranger. So if there's anyone out there, help yourself. I just got to check something on the screens here. I'm going to the control room. I have to be able to... okay, I just had to do some adjustments there, because we're flying at about 28,000 miles an hour at the moment. Just cruising around, just cruising around the solar system, getting more shots, getting more data, gathering more information, because this is how they actually make the ephemeris. You see all this data here? This is from your typical ephemeris. All this data comes from the Astrolumination Terrascope, okay? I'm sorry, I got tongue-tied there. It comes from the Terra Lumination Astroscope. You know all those famous websites that do all the astrology? This is where they get their information. This is from the Terra Lumination Astroscope. Yep, it's true. Yep, it's amazing, isn't it? Yep. So yeah, so we are we are doing super chats if anyone's interested. Of course, people can just throw money in the pot if you want. Oh my gosh! I hope Love Triber gets here. I hope Love Triber gets here. I just received something very interesting. Hold on. Let me just check in with you guys. Hold on. Ah, there we go. So now it's break time up here in the astroscope itself. Okay. There's a little. We have to have a break. Everyone has to have a break. As you know, up here there is no time. Like watches are sort of useless. But it doesn't matter, we keep going anyway. I keep mine set to Earth time, so at least I have the impression that I'm living an Earth-based life. Hi, Gabby girl. See you. Yep. Hello, hello, hello. Way down there on in our galaxy, and then right there in our solar system. Yeah. So it kind of depends what people want to do. All I really wanted to do with the introduction here was just to get that information across, because it was bubbling up inside of me early this morning when I woke up, and then it kept coming back, and I kept thinking, we just have to carry on where we left off last night and just keep the show rolling. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, Gabby, there's a whole bunch of us here, So I'm sorry if I sound like I'm moaning and groaning again, but it's very evident over here that YouTube itself is kind of struggling a bit. I'd like to say struggling. There's another word for it, but I don't want to use it because it just makes me sound like I'm angry and mean and bitter and resentful. And spiteful. I can do all that stuff. But it's like, it's becoming really evident now because I had a couple of really big channels come to me recently, basically sort of asking like what's going on, like, and because there are some really hello Maria, I see you, hi Maria, yay. Oh, Love Triber is here, hi. High five, high five. Yeah. So what I'm learning is that there's some really big channels that kind of do what we do, you know, the astrology, the tarot, and the healing arts and all that, like all this remote energy healing stuff and things, and like you could think of it as like light messengers, but their channels are getting crushed as well. Like they're starting to show the same kind of bizarre numbers that my channel, Terra Lumination, was getting at the end of 2018 and all through 2019. Okay, so this has been going on for let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like this has been going on for 18 months now. Terra Lumination has just gone from there to there, and a few other channels have just disappeared completely, but now there's a couple of really big channels, you know, that we all looked up to, we've looked up, and they're kind of going like this as well. They're showing the same kind of patterns that happened here. In my personal feeling, and it's been, I think Love Triber understands it and it can explain it better than anyone, is that it, like, Google and YouTube don't want the light. They don't want that stuff, really. They might think that they do. They might have really, you know, embraced it for a while, but what they're really like. Oh, hold on. I see your note, Gregory. Hello, Gregory. Sir Gregory is here. Yeah. Yep. And so there's this like a consensus that's starting to happen with the people who've been coming to, you know, ask what's going on. There's a consensus that YouTube is deliberately, you know, shrouding the light, so to speak. Like it's much better if you have really scary stuff, or if you have if you're going to have one of these inspirational or healing type channels, it works much better when they're really glossy and they have, you know, really lots and lots of like feel good, happy messages all day, every day. But when you do things the way that we do them, or when you get into the point where you're doing serious reality checks, that's not good. It's not good. YouTube doesn't like that. But we keep going, okay? We'll have to figure it out. We have to figure out what to do. Hold on. Oh, the chat is lighting up with bright yellow colors. I love it. I gotta put my sunglasses on. Hold on, I can hardly see it. Oh, I see it. Something there. I just saw something. Hold on, where is that? Where is that? All sun, I can hardly see. It's just dazzling. Question is in your email. Okay. Let me just check something. I gotta go to the other stage. Give me a second. Okay, over here I might be able to check in better on what's actually happening here behind the scenes. Give me a second, please. Oh, goodness. All right, so you know what I think is happening? I think what's happening is that there might be some kind of delays or something inside the massive YouTube, you know, thing that it is, the massive platform. I see your big yellow blob here, Olson. I see that. And I see some notes there about Gregory had sent something in, but there's nothing. Gregory's is not showing up. And there is no email from Olson, so I have absolutely no idea what is going on. Their emails should come in, and maybe they will. Let's just hang out for a little bit. Let's just wait and see what happens. Hello, Robin. Okay. Okay. Hi, Robin. Hi, Robin. Hey, I'm wondering, like, I'm kind of curious. I'm always kind of curious, especially at the early parts of the show, if there's anyone out there who's never been here before, or even if you've been here before but you never actually like hang out in the chat. If so, if not, then please introduce yourself. Come and hang out. I love hanging out with newbies, and I'll show you why when you get here. So please don't be shy. We're good people, and we won't make too much fun of you. It's okay. Okay, Gregory, hold on. Let me just check something. No, that's weird. Hey, Gregory, it's kind of weird. Let's just wait for a while, okay? Because I believe me, it would like, it shows up as a big bright yellow thing over here when somebody puts money in for the $10 thingy, or maybe different colors for different quantities. So let's just hang out for a bit. There's obviously some kind of delay. There it is. Oh, it worked. I got it, Gregory. I got it. Thank you very, very much. And that is definitely showing up here, for sure. Yes, thank you. Got it. Let me just check something else. I want to check something. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see what's happening. Yes, I've got an email. The email just arrived. It's very, very cool. Okay, so let me get out my magic post-it notes. Give me just a second here. Things are starting to kind of make sense a bit here. Hold on, stay there. Don't go away. I need post-it notes. Aha. Here we go. So, all right. Okay. So, let me just make a note here, and, oh, sorry, give me a second, here, and here. All right, now, first of all, also, the email is here, okay? The email is here, okay? And we're on top of this, okay? So don't worry, you're going to get the reading, and everything will be revealed and make sense later on, okay? I got the email. Okay, so I'm going to put the question over here and the question over here, and I will go back to this question when it comes time to do the reading, just to make sure I've got it clear in my brain. Okay, let's put that over here, and Gregory is over here. Let's have a look. So, yes, I know what you're saying, Gregory. Yes, about the retrograde. But really, Mercury retrograde and then going direct is the tiniest of problems right now. It's this is the big stuff. This is the stuff that's, well, it's all, it's all happening simultaneously. Let's put this one over here. As you can tell, it's very messy over here at the because we're actually out on the space station right now. I have to, I know, I can put this over here. I can put this one over here, and I don't really need the ephemeris right now because we're actually on top of things already. So let me put that over here. All right, so we're off to a start. All right, let's see what's going on. Yes, Mercury just turned direct. Actually, let me see if I can fill in a couple blobs here. That might make sense. To fill out the chart a little bit better. How about that? So at this moment right now in time, we have Mercury, the Moon, and Neptune, okay? Over here we have Mercury, and Moon and Neptune. And they're all piled up over here in the 12th house. Let's see, I'll just make this over here in Pisces, okay? I'll do it like this. They're all in Pisces right now. And you remember when, a few weeks ago we were talking about all this stuff where, do you remember when, okay, sorry, hold on, I have to put the sun, because the sun is over here in Aries. That's the sun. And that's in Aries right now. And we've got, I didn't really do this very well, but we've got Uranus over here. Okay. Over here in Taurus. Okay, and Venus is over here in Taurus as well, okay? Is in Taurus as well. And we have the North Node over here in Cancer, okay? You know about that already, okay? So let's just leave that over there for now. But this is a huge cluster of planets in tight places, okay? All this cluster here, all this cluster here. And the interesting thing yesterday we noted was how Saturn had moved on to, where is it? Saturn is now into Aquarius, okay? Actually, I don't want to mess this up anymore. It's getting so confusing already. That's enough as it is. Let's have a look here. And, oh gosh, hold on. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. Now. Alright, so I'm running a lot of softwares simultaneously at the moment. Okay, so let's wind this clock back a little bit. Going back just a little bit. When Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter were aligned, and Mars was just coming into Capricorn, and the Moon came into Capricorn. Remember that? Just a while back, and that was when things started to get really, really heavy and very, very serious with the virus thingy. Okay, and at that point in time, we had the Sun right here next to Neptune, and then a few days later we had the new moon. We had the moon in Pisces over here. That was a whole while back, like almost a month ago, and that was a huge telltale sign that we are looking at the invisible enemy, the hidden enemy, and that hidden enemy turned out to be the virus. Okay, the hidden enemy to the whole of planet Earth. Okay. Hey, Queen of Water, I see you. Yes, that's true. That's true. We were here yesterday. We're actually just kind of carrying the show, but this show is actually, I know we had some super chats yesterday. Thank you very much. And it wasn't planned, but I really appreciate it. But tonight is Sunday Night Live. Okay, Queen of Water, this is actually Sunday Night Live. I know it's Monday for you, but for us over here in the United States, it's Sunday late night for some of you. And we're doing the Sunday Night Live Super Chat mini readings, okay? And we've got a few bookings already. Thank you very much. So, anyway, the way I look at it, it's just all beautiful. It's like sacred geometry. It's all playing out perfectly. And so, the sun is over here in Aries right now, firing things up a little bit. All of this, the way I look at it, all this earth energy is in deep, deep harmony with all this earth energy here, okay? And you can't really see it on my, so I'll put Venus over here so you can see it. Okay, I'll put Venus over here. Venus, I'll put Venus over here. Okay, so there you go. And then there's Uranus over there. But all of that is in nice Taurus earth energy. That's in nice Capricorn energy. So this is very harmonious. Like, as terrifying as it is to have this invisible hidden enemy, basically attacking the world, the earth, and this is like the enemy of mankind, the humanity. We are. My personal feeling is that we're looking at World War III. Okay, that's what I feel. World War III. But this is a world war of completely different proportions than ever existed before, because the war is now between humanity and itself. It isn't between this tribe and that tribe, or that tribe and that tribe. You know, there's China, there's America, there's Europe, and all these other different like tribes. And we have figured out that it's much more fun and exciting and healthy and prosperous if we all work together, like in this so-called modern economy. But there are some deep flaws, and the deep flaws is that we're overdoing it. It's overconsumption, oversupply, and it's just putting so much pressure on poor little planet Earth that we ended up swimming in our own poop, as represented by the heavy-duty energy, especially when Mercury was retrograde. Thank you, Gregory. Over here, during just recently, and that was a very bold illustration about the hidden enemy coming into light. When the sun hit Neptune and Moon here, it came into light. Yeah. All of this is highly predictable. That's how and why I wrote my little book, as you know. But anyway, we are kind of just sort of doing random chats about all this stuff here. Let's just go. I don't want to let me hang out with you guys. Stay right there. Hold on. I'm coming right back. Yeah. So, I know this sounds like awful. It sounds like I'm gloating, or I'm saying ha ha ha, or like I told you so, ha ha ha. But the way my body works, and the way this works, and the way my heart and soul all works, I tend to, feel things from out there, And, you can call it mediumship, or, psychic awareness or something. Nikki knows a lot about these things, by the way, and there's a few other people here who, do psychic stuff as well, and there's readers and all of that, and energy healing and all of that stuff, but it's all kind of a big blur to me. It's like this whole big blur thing, but it's all combined. And when I was sensing things in about 2008, 2009, I knew this moment was going to come. But I didn't know enough, and so I had to do a lot of research and digging and reading, and eventually I figured it out in about 2000, let's see, today is 2020, 15, 14, like 2013, 2014, I started to realize that we're heading to this moment in time, and I started to make a lot of notes, and I realized my notes are turning into a book. And so I ended up writing that book, and some of you know about that book already, but it was a little bit of a predictor for where we are right now. And it towards the end of the book, we get very, very specific. It is very much to do with January 2020, when Pluto is in Capricorn, okay, and Saturn is conjoining Pluto in Capricorn at the same time. It's very, very tough energy. It's the reality check police knocking on our door, okay? And then you add in Jupiter, and then you add in Moon, you add in the Mars and all of that. It just gets super heavy amplified. It's like the reality check are right in your face. And I look back, I've been looking through a lot of charts, and there's nothing, I've never seen anything like it. There's some super high-end astrologers. They have all these incredibly complicated softwares and, dials and charts and graphs and everything. And they're like, sort of like, wow, yeah, serious. And it is serious, okay? There have been plenty of, cataclysmic times in human history, and a really good mundane astrologer can correlate all of it with the planets very easily. That's what they do. That's their field. Okay, I'm not really one of those. I'm just an amateur. I'm just more like picking it up through the senses. But I felt that it's real, and I had to convey this stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yes, this is phase one. So I haven't really, I'm not really ready yet. I haven't done much of the homework yet, but we have multiple crisis points, okay, coming up here in 2020. Just in 2020 alone, we have multiple astrological crisis points where everything's going to, it's like waves. It's just like storm waves, like. And then after that wave, things calm a bit, and then we, as humanity, we integrate everything that we learned from that last wave. Right now, we're going through a wave that's probably in some ways bigger than any wave that has ever existed, as far as, recorded astrology is concerned, okay? There's one huge one around the year 1280, something like that. But again, it's not quite like this. This is actually bigger. And I don't think it's a coincidence that humanity has exploded in its population and come to this moment in time since the discovery of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in the last 150 years. If you look at the charts of human population, the growth and expansion and change of human behavior, human dynamics, human structures, things like global banking, politics, the American Constitution, healthcare, space travel, all of that stuff. The big acceleration happened when they discovered Uranus, bam, and then Neptune, bam, and then Pluto, ker monster blam, okay? And that all happened relatively quickly. And the ancient astrologers, they knew that something like this was going to happen. They knew that there was stuff farther out there. They knew that there were more planets outside of Saturn. They already knew about the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, because they can see them. All of those heavenly bodies can be seen from Earth, okay? But you can't see Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto from Earth because our eyesight can't handle it. The only way you can see it is with super high-powered telescopes. And it took a long time for humans to figure it out, but once they figured it out, there was a simultaneous explosion in terms of like human expansion and humanity, like going all over planet Earth. Some people think of it like some people think human beings are kind of like a virus or like a fungus, and yeah, you could easily look at it that way, or like a weed. And we've just figured out how, or we're like an invasive species. Human beings could be seen that way from the perspective of other species, or if you're an observer from outer space, it looks like, oh my God, look, there's this freaking weed. It's going all over the planet, and it's called humanity. Oh my gosh. Well, we've reached that point right now. It's everywhere. Humanity is everywhere, and the output of humanity is everywhere, okay? And the input is everywhere. That's the supply and the demand. Human beings consume and we put out stuff. You could call it human poop if you want. So we're at a kind of a crisis point where we're consuming so much and producing so much that we're just fouling our own nest. And then you could get into the whole conversation about the environment and everything, okay? I'm not going to go there. We all have our own opinions and whatever, but it all kind of connects. So it's historically, this is like a monumental time that we're in right now. So, I've been ranting for a little bit. I guess I should just get on with some readings, This is going to sound really strange. Before I do that, do you mind if I just throw in one more other thing here? This is just total rant, but I feel I feel I need to share this, so I'm going to go to the stage again. It's all connected to the astrodoodles. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, just please bear with me. We'll get to the readings soon. Alright, so let's just say all this ranting and talking about the alignments, this piece of sacred geometry here, this thing recently, and the whole phenomenon of January 2020 being a global historic moment in astrological and human history, so on and so on. And then yesterday we talked about the huge correlation between what is happening here, January 2020, and what happened in the United States around the 4th of July, 1776. It was the birth of a new concept, a new way to behave. At that time, humanity was really struggling with how we behave. And these people, whoever, I can't remember all their names, but Jefferson, Washington, and the other guys who drafted the Declaration of Independence, they basically created a document stating to the world, we're sick of the old BS. We're sick of that shit. We're going to do something new and cool that we've never done before. And they created the American Constitution, okay, for the United States as a document. And that changed the world at that moment in time. And we've never looked back. And now, of course, here we are, 250 years later, one complete Pluto cycle. And now our Declaration of Independence, our founding document, is now totally and utterly corrupted because it has lived its life cycle, and so it's going to start all over again. We're not going to burn the Constitution. It's not going away. Hello, Saul. Yes, I see you. It's not going away. But my personal belief is that starting here in January 2020, and for the next 10 years, okay, the next 10 years, 2020 up until 2030, we're going to go through massive evolutionary convulsions. And this is the big one. We're starting right now. Huge, like, we've got the eclipses, the evolutionary gateways. We're going to be pushed and pumped and pulled by the planets. If you think of the planets as these perfect entities that do what they do, they are helping us. They are guiding us to evolve and grow and adapt and change so that we can blossom. Thank you, Love Triber, for that one. And this is what's happening again. This has never happened before, as far as I can tell, in any of the astrology that I've researched. Okay? So we're living in a monumental time in terms of humanity. And someone's got to call it out. And that's Terra Lumination. And that's you guys. You're living with this right now because you are super hyper advanced beings. Okay? And you can handle it. Yep. So, here's the thing. Let's get personal. My feeling is that Terra Lumination, I've had many past lives during wartime. Okay? I've seen a lot of blood, death, guts, misery, pain, suffering, death, and death again, and deprivation and losses, loss of loved ones, loss of life, and having to do really despicable things just to stay alive, okay? I feel I've been that person. I also feel that I was very active in the military as a medic, as a healer, or a doctor's assistant, or a doctor, or something like that. And that was an active role, and you had to be able to relate to people regardless of, you know, their race, creed, culture, or anything. And I was just one of those people. And I don't think it's a coincidence anymore that I'm back again at this particular time in global history, because this is who I am, this is what I do, but I'm not operating like, I'm not actually out there in the mud. I'm not actually out there on the field stations with face masks and, oh, by the way, let me show you something. Watch this. Hold on. Stay there. Watch this. Stay there, don't go away. Finally, I got one. This was gifted to me. Okay, so I'm not really out in the field anymore. I'm not doing that stuff anymore, where you're operating as more or less like a healer type person. I think what's happened is that I'm coming in yet another reincarnation, but in this particular lifetime, it looks like the incarnation is to do with things like remote healing, spiritual healing, healing of the heart and the mind and the soul, because I can't help too much with the body anymore. I've had so many health issues, like I failed at med school. I tried to get into med school and I failed, even though I had all the natural inclinations, but I just couldn't handle the academics. Okay? So here we are. And there are other people, okay? There's more people like Terra Lumination. There's all you guys out there. You wouldn't be here unless you were on the same kind of frequencies. You all have some kind of divine healing capacity in your hearts. Typically, there's some people who come here, they've come from very tragic, really brutal situations. But I was reading today from Sylvia Brown, hint, hint, thank you, Love Schreiber, about how there are certain people who incarnate, who end up having really, like, let's just say really challenging lives, where it kind of doesn't make sense that they're even alive at all. But that is part of their learning experience, so they can understand the energy of compassion and what it's like to be extremely sick, so that when you relate to the sick and the needy, you understand from the level of the heart. And so I think that's what's happening here with a lot of us. I think, like Queen of Water, Gabby, each of you in your own way, you're coming from deep, deep heart energy. You might not look like a doctor. You might not look like a guru, or you might not have like a badge over here that says, I am a healer. But you're operating as a healer, okay? But it's in a very celestial kind of way, like a celestial healer, like a light bearer, like a light bringer. So, we're not so focused on the actual disease itself. We're focused on this, okay? So, yes, Mother Earth is rebooting itself. Exactly. Sounds like you could have written the same book. That's a good title. Mother Earth is rebooting itself. Well, it is. It's actually humanity is rebooting itself, because it has to. Otherwise, we are going to contaminate ourselves to the point of oblivion. And we are all very aware now, because of what happened with the Spanish flu in 1918 and the bubonic plague. You can wipe out a third of the human population like that. On the other hand, human beings are very good at repopulating themselves, you might have noticed. But the point is, we have to mature, we have to evolve, change, grow, and adapt so that we can blossom as a phenomenon, this thing called humanity on Earth, because there's nowhere else to go. You can talk about, we'll live on Mars, let's go to Venus, let's go to that new planet, that exoplanet, way out, that other planet. No, this is all we've got, okay? So we have to do something to, get this thing to work. We really, really, really have to clean up our mess. Okay, it's everywhere. It's a global responsibility. You just can't blame it on the corporations. We're all consumers. We're all producers. Okay, we all produce. We all consume. So there. What just happened? I've just been ranting nonstop. I've lost track of where I am. We're doing a show. Holy jeez, I can hardly. Anyway, it's a very strange feeling just happened to me. You know what? I need a beverage. Stay right there. Luckily, I have something prepared. Cheers. Oh, can you just imagine? Do some of you remember the First Friday events where we do all this? We do what we're doing right here now, but we do it live in person with people, with real people. So it's not just you guys on the chat, but you each have your own little screen, okay? We can get into that again down the road. Right now I'm just trying to keep the channel alive, but eventually once I build up a bit more momentum again, because I've only been back in the United States for a couple of weeks now, I'd like to get back to having, private meetings again. Just the same that we do, when we're having a personal reading with someone, but we do the First Friday things, like with the Patreon members. We huddle up and we can have a whole big gathering. I would love to do that again, okay? Robin's Realm, do a collective reading. Oh yes, okay, a group reading, people. Group reading, good idea. Thank you. Actually, let's get off there and let's start to do a reading. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this mess as it is. I hope you don't mind. Because we might be living with this for quite a while. It might get even messier. Okay? Grip readings. I would really appreciate any kind of, if anyone wants to throw extra money into the pot for group readings, what I'll do here, Gregory, is I will abscond with $10 out of your 20, and I'll put that towards the group reading, okay? Hope you don't mind. So we're going to create a new post-it note. This is going to be the group reading. Thank you. Super chats would help, obviously. We've got a few in the pot already. So I'll put that over here as well. Super duper. Gabby girl. Ow, Gabby just put some in the pot as well. Thanks, Gabby. Yay. I'll put that over here. I'll put some over here from Gregory, so we know where we are. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Super duper. And I'll just put that over here for now. And let's have a look. Okay. Cheers. All right. You know what? This is very weird for me. Give me a second. I need to put a new... I'm going to get the Lumination satin silk scarf, okay? So I don't get distracted by all this stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to start ranting about this and that and that. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Actually, I need to play a little bit of music. Give me a moment. Hello, Path. I see that. Thank you very much. Give me a second. I need to put on some... I just want to go and get the Lumination silk scarf, okay? Give me a second. Still not ready. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm just not ready yet. Okay? Sorry about that. Okay? Okay. Okay. Give me a second. Thank you. All right. Don't need to. Okay. All right. So, Nikki, I got the notes. All right, awesome. So this is for you. This is kind of a mysterious type of reading. I'm not going to say anything. Okay? I'm just going to do the reading. Okay? Thank you, Path. Thank you. Oh, I need to mark. I need to emblazon your name onto the magic post-it note. Of course, it would help if I actually knew where my Sharpies were. There we go. I'm going to put Path's name over there too. Excellent. Thank you, Path. Super duper. That goes over here. Alright. And we'll get to Gregory in a little while. Yes, good luck. So here we go. This is the Terra Lumination satin silk scarf, as you know. It's worth an absolute fortune. I've sold a few. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, all fully represented. It doesn't matter what sun sign you are when you wear this scarf, people. Gregory is reconnecting with everybody who he didn't connect with earlier. Alright, so, awesome. This is going to be a little mini reading. And it's sort of in the form of advice, okay, for an upcoming period of time, okay? It's quite specific, so I'm going to come out with a specific reading. What advice do we have here regarding this situation? And then we'll see how... Let's see how much I am supposed to confide regarding this, but I'll do that after the reading. I just want to do the reading first, okay? Alright, here we go. Now, I don't know why I have to tell you. I can see here from the transmissions that YouTube is really struggling right now, okay? It's nothing to do with Terra Lumination. Everything over here at the Terra Lumination headquarters is fine, but I can tell from some of the stuff going on the computers over there that YouTube is struggling, okay? I just wanted you guys to know, in case you get weird buffering or anything like that, don't blame it on Terra Lumination. Alright, I need a sip. Cheers. Alright, here we go. Let's see what's happening here. Cards are well shuffled in advance. Bless this deck. Bless every single card. Just like we do. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals. And we're just going to get to this. We're going to use the Terra Lumination situational spread as we do all the time. It's the same spread they use, of course, up in the Situation Room at the White House. Right now I'm on permanent 24/7 call. I'm on call. So, you know, when they need me, they call. Of course, I got connections, you know. And Taylor Swift is already, you know, she's already kind of like, she's using her celebrity to help me, you know, get a little closer to the action. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. All right, what do we got going on here? Yeah, I can see that there's something. So serious concerns going on here already, and it would be nice to have some clarity. July is going to be a very interesting time for everybody, by the way, because it's one of the monumental moments during the year. We're going to have some eclipses at that time, and they are highly relevant to what is happening right now. So July is going to be kind of a special month. Just want everybody to know. Just might as well know now. We're going to get there anyway, but sometimes it helps to have a little bit of advance notice. Let's have a look here. Now, what is the situation? And what are the challenges with this? And then how are we going to handle all of this? Now we're going to look at the surrounding energy. I think of it as the influence of the planets, but it could be anything. We'll see what it says here. Okay, so we've got the world. Okay, so it looks like there's monumental shifts and changes happening for you, all sun, whether you like it or know it or not. And it looks like what I would call a change of life, okay? Where, I mean, in a simplistic ways, life as you know it is going to be, let's say, fading away, and a new life is going to be unfolding in front of you some way, somehow. I'm not going to put an exact timestamp on it, but we're looking at like sometime in 2020, where 2020 is such a monumental year for the whole planet, and for you in particular, this might mean just a complete lifestyle, change of a lifestyle, everything. Like I think of life happening in terms of what I call lifestyle package deals anyway. So if you think of yourself as having lived through different chapters of your life, I call them lifestyle package deals. And the latest one is basically coming to an end, and a new one will eventually unfold, okay? And that's just how it works. This is just evolution. This is evolution in practice. This is the world card, okay? And of course, everything is working perfectly. All the energies, earth, air, and fire, and water, they're all working perfectly. If you think of this as the influence of the planets, everything is perfect. Everything is exactly as it should be. How and why is this so? It's because it can't be any other way, and that's just how it is. So you go from there. The changes are going to happen whether you like it or know it or not. And the question is, how do you deal with it? It requires making sometimes really, really tough decisions. If we don't make the decisions consciously, then the decisions are made for us. Okay, let's have a look. What's the situation? Okay. So it feels like it's time to take action and perhaps do something bold and get out there, perhaps in the public. Do something where, it's almost like, to me it feels like a call to action, a call to being an action hero, doing something noble for humanity, where you're going to have to basically walk the talk, okay? It's like having to be like a representative of like the good aspects of what's happening in life in the world right now. To me, it almost feels like being a spokesperson, or at least being an ambassador. Well, not an ambassador, but more like having to live by example. To me, it looks like there's a lot of pressure on you to live by example, to be an exemplary type of character who embodies like a sense of hope, a sense of inspiration, a sense of perhaps some leadership, a sense of guidance. And you're going to have to dig that from inside yourself and just live it in your own life. And that somehow turns into, let's just say, something that, I don't know, benefits others. To me, mostly it feels like it's a calling. Mostly it feels like this is a calling and it's a responsibility, and you're going to have to do something about it. Because if you don't, it'll be like you're living like, what am I doing here? Why am I on this planet? So this is something like, this is a must-have, this is a must-do, and you're being called, okay? And it might not always be fun, or it might not always be pretty, because when you take on the energy of the Prince of Wands here, it's very easy to attract contradictory or controversial energy. This isn't necessarily a sweet ride. It might feel like it's bordering on heroism, but it isn't necessarily a sweet ride. Okay? So just it's almost like be warned. And what are the challenges here? Okay. So with the Four of Swords, my feeling is that there's okay, this is going to sound really awful, This is going to sound awful, all son, but I'm just going to say it. To me, it looks like there's a really deep, deep reluctance to go deep, deep within and do the self-healing and the self-modifications, the self, like, the evolutionary processes, okay? I use that all the time, like evolve, grow, adapt, change, so that you can blossom. And that has to happen at the deep, deep, deep internal level, deep, deep down inside, which requires a deliberate sequestration from, like, the three-dimensional world, which could be full of action. Like, this looks like it's big energy over here, and this looks like it's potentially exciting. But the thing is, you put those and those together, where this is influencing all of this, it can make you feel as though you're already pre-qualified to do this and be this. And my feeling here with the reading is that because you're coming into a new paradigm, you're not fully qualified. And then deep down you know that, but there's also this deep reluctance that, like, I don't want to go down to do the depths of the soul homework that I have to do, that I can only do in myself. By going internal, going private, going into my own self-healing practices, because I'd rather not do that, because as far as I'm concerned, I've already got my act together anyway. But this feels like a deep reluctance to go deep, deep within to do the self-healing that needs to be done in order to be able to conduct life this way, in such a way that this is authentic. This cannot be lived without authenticity, because otherwise the shiny armor just becomes very dull very quickly, and everybody can tell. And so this is, to me, I mean, it looks like a very gentle card, but it looks like a lot of pressure that you might resist, because honestly, self-love and self-healing is some of the hardest things to do, because it means we have to just literally take care of ourselves, and it's just so much easier to outsource this stuff. So much easier, like blame them, blame them, blame them, or like, oh, I could get that from a book if I had to, I could do that if I had to. But no, this is something that has to be done by the self, at the deepest level of the soul, and that's really hard to do. Okay, so I understand the reluctance, I really, really do. Don't worry. Okay, this is not a doom and gloom reading. It's just that, to me, it looks like there's a lot of pressure here. So how are we going to deal with this? Okay, so with the Prince of Cups, my feeling is that you have to... It's like... You see, this is a Prince of Wands, okay? This is a Prince of Cups here. It's almost like you're going to have to go through some kind of self-initiation thing, some kind of grooming thing, some kind of extremely, deeply humbling, perhaps not necessarily fun or pretty experience, where you have to almost get baptized. It's almost like you have to get baptized into becoming and going into this new world here, where the like the energy of a baptism is bestowed upon you by people who love and care and want the best for you, and then you have to make yourself and your heart open to be ready, willing, and able to accept the baptism, because that is almost like saying, like, oh, you're one of us, and like, in order for this to happen, it means all son has to comply with these levels of integrity. Okay, in other words, to do and be this and carry this, you actually have to do and be this and carry this. You actually have to walk the talk. You can't it can't be let's just say, what's the word, it can't be like an intellectual exercise. This is actually living by example, and ultimately, to do that, all healing is self-healing, and in order for the effect, in order to be effective, it means having to be willing to be baptized into this new life, this new world, and that could be a very humbling experience, and something that might not be comfortable, because it might mean you have to go deep into the depths of the soul and find out what it is that I need to heal about myself. in regard to how I relate to humanity, to people, to loved ones, friends, and family, so that I can heal this in order to be able to conduct myself so that I can walk the talk. Because if you can't walk the talk, then the whole of this becomes irrelevant. Okay? All right, so I hope that makes sense. I was just literally, it felt like all of this stuff came to me like a flood, and my biggest challenge was just to get my mouth to be able to say the words as they were coming to me. I almost felt like I was channeling this thing. It was a very, I would say, a very strong reading. So I hope you don't mind. I hope I didn't blow any expectations or hurt some nerves, or this didn't come out of the blue, or it didn't make any sense. I hope so, okay? All right, so that's your reading. Thank you all, son. I'm going to check over here for a second. So there it is. Okay, so it's up to you to reinterpret that, okay? I'm just putting it out there like a message. That was the message that I got, and I conveyed it as best as I could, because really I'm just an instrument here. All the message comes from over there, comes through me. I'm a transceiver. That's all I am. I transmit and receive energy, okay? So it's from there, it comes through here, it goes through a processor, and it comes out here in what you see as a Tarot Lumination online reading. Okay? So that's what it is, okay? So there we go. Thank you all, son. I need to play a little song because I need to get another bottle of refreshments, okay? So please bear with me, everybody. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Okay. 4 purple hearts to you, too. 4 purple hearts. Wow. That's big. That's big. Yeah. Hold on. I need to get... let me see if I can do this. See if I can pull up the song. See if I can do it today. Here it is. Oh, it had it. Wait a minute. It just... I had the song. Where is it? What? No. I am healing. There it is. No. Ah! Where the hell is it? Give me a second, folks. I really want to play this song, and I don't know why it's not coming up. It's very frustrating, okay? So give me a second. Oh, how can I do this? How can I possibly do this? It doesn't seem to be happening. So, okay. Give me a second. I'll try this. Just let's make do for now, okay? Okay, so there we go. I found what I needed to find. Let me clear up here. I'll be right back. In a second, I'm just going to clear the reading here from Olson. Then we're going to move on toward Gregory. So get yourself comfortable. So we'll look, I'll put, thank you. Thank you, Olson. Thank you very, very much. Super duper. That was fun. I actually enjoyed that. It felt like a rich flood. That was very unusual kind of reading for me. I'm just going to clear the deck, okay? And then we're going to read for Gregory. Thanks, Nikki. Super duper. Okay, I can put these over here. We'll have a rest for a second. I'm going to put Gregory on the stage now. Gregory, you are front and center. Here you are. And I'm going to go over to check in with everyone. All right, here we are. Excellent. So, yeah, that was a very kind of an unusual reading, honestly, as readings go, because I feel different. Every reading is different. There are certain themes that don't change, but sometimes I can feel like there's an energy field that comes with these things, okay? Gregory wants some good old-fashioned love heart opening device. Well, I have the Tarot Lumination Cure. It doesn't fix everything, but it helps just a tiny bit. Watch. Cheers, everybody. Have you noticed that I've become more bold? More bold? Like you can actually see me drinking it in the glass now. So, there you go. Of course, nobody knows what it is. It's actually fermented grape juice, but for all you know, it could be just grape juice. Hold on, what's this? Hold on, it says on this. I just got to check the chats. Hold on. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Gregory. It seems like you're doing a promotional for Tarot Lumination. Thank you very much. I am blushing now, as you can see. I just turned a little bit pink. That's okay. Okay. Don't worry. So Gregory is looking for some good old-fashioned love and heart-opening advice. Okay. So let's see how we can do that. And what I might do, because we've only got a tiny number of people here, we got a small number of bookings because we had some bookings last night, so it's kind of evening out. I said I'd do something. I should actually really save that for like. Okay, let me just do something once again. Okay. All right, hold on. Hold on. Okay. If there's any newbies out there, if there's anybody out there who's watching but you've never done this before, you've got all your channels that you watch but you've never done this before, please introduce yourself, okay? You do that on the little type-in thing. Let us know you're here, who you are, where you come from. I love to know where people come from, like if you're in Alaska or Australia or, you know, Nigeria or Brazil or wherever, you know. So if you're there, let us know, okay? Sarah Al-Shaikhi is over there in Benghazi. So if she can do it, anybody can do it. Thank you, Sarah, okay? So let's get to work. Thank you, Gregory. Okay, let's get to work here. I think I just scared people away. I think all I'm doing now is just scaring people away. How sad. Cheers, everyone. I want to try a new spread. You see, there's this thing I want to do. I want to try a new spread, and I want to try it on a complete newbie. A complete, utter newbie. Okay? I'm just letting you know. That's kind of why I was reaching out just now. Basically we're talking about a guinea pig, as they call it in laboratory science. Let's have a look here. All right, I think we're looking pretty good. Whoa, hold on. Some mischief here. So when I look at the note there, it's a very simple, short note. Heart-opening advice. Yeah, it's actually, we talk about loving and being loved. I am loving, I am loved. I am loving, I am loved. When we do that stuff, you can only love as much as you are able to love thyself, okay? And as you know on this channel, love thyself, it can be one of the hardest things to do. And so you get to this point like, why does my love life suck? Or why is this and that not working? You have to go within. You have to actually go within. You can't, love isn't something that you go and get. You can't go shopping for it. People think you can, and they do in some ways, but it's almost like it only really manifests and comes available to you when you learn it's almost like tricks or stunts about how to love thyself, and then you get a glimpse, and then all of a sudden it starts to work, and you start attracting love into your life. Maybe not necessarily the perfect lover, but a loving energy. And if you just keep going in that direction, it starts to becomes manifest, like destiny manifest as love. Like something that can be shared from one human being to another. So it's very, very important to understand love as a phenomenon, love as an energy field, love as love is as love does, love in action. For example, on Terra Lumination, we talk about love in action. Love in action is like putting your, living, like walking the talk. In other words, what is the most loving thing to do right now? Maybe it's patience, maybe it's reverence, maybe it's anger. It's very dangerous one to go into anger, but sometimes anger is appropriate. Let's see, consideration, respect, joy, doing something fun, doing something silly, doing something recreational, being with someone you don't want to be with, although you have to be with them at the soul level, so you do it anyway. Things like that. I'm not saying for a lifetime, but for like helping out in a moment in time. Like raising a child requires astronomical amounts of love, because a lot of the times raising a child is huge amounts of really painful, tedious, messy work, okay? And it can't be done effectively without a lot of love. So I'm talking about that kind of love. Love in action. Love is as love does. And so it has to come from within. We have to generate it from within. It's not something you go out and hunt. It's not something you go out and get. You can't buy it. So it has to come from within. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a rant. Let's have a look. Let's see here. I'll put out the call, and let me just do the reading. Let me do the reading. Okay, Gregory, I'm right here. Okay. Let's do this. All right. Oh, interesting. Oh my gosh, I have a feeling there's an animal around. I have a feeling there's a silky, smooth animal nearby you right now. Here's the situation. What are the messages regarding the opening of heart energy for love? Okay, good old-fashioned love. Love, heart opening. How do we get the heart energy to open? The chakra. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges about it all. Here's how we're going to deal with it. And what are the surrounding influences? It could be obstructive. It could be supportive. It could be, let's just say, tangential type of influence. Let's have a look here. The Nine of Wands. Okay. My feeling is that it's almost like it's almost like working too hard. It's almost like there's so much energy, like being pumped into the process of life and living, that it's actually working against you. Okay, I know that might sound really, really strange. Like with the Nine of Wands here, it's like part of it is, to me, it almost feels like whatever limitations you might be feeling right now regarding the heart opening, it's like it's happening from the inside out. Like in theory, you know perfectly well what to do, how to do it, what's supposed to happen, how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to feel. But when you're coming at it from the point of like, I have to make this work, this has to happen, this is I'm gonna figure this out somehow, we gotta do it, then it's almost like trying to force something to happen, which can only happen from like the inside out. And so it would be this is very strong energy, but it also feels very, very subtle to me. Like you wouldn't necessarily normally think about the opening of the heart in that kind of way, because it's almost like what I'm feeling here is these two energies working against each other. There is such a desire to open and melt and kind of like have this like melding kind of experience between the self and other, the self and another, the soul of the self with the soul of another at this rich, deep level. And knowing that, wanting that, knowing that you need that, knowing that you deserve that, knowing that you've worked for that, it's like it's filling up your whole consciousness right now. And it's there, and it's at the point where like, okay, it's great to be aware. It's great to like do, to learn about these things, and but that's not necessarily about the actual opening of the heart. I think what this is saying here is it's really important to be aware that you're actually blocking yourself in some way, somehow. Now, I don't know what that looks like. I'm just going to show the image again here for clarity. This is the Nine of Wands in this deck, okay? And you will survive. You will prevail. You will figure this out because you know that you have to. It's just that, to me, everything feels really pent up right now. Like, I would like a solution right now. God, please, okay? So let's have a look. What is the situation regarding the opening of the heart? Okay. Okay, so... and this is, to me, this feels very, very karmic right now. Like with the Justice card here, like in some ways this is a very tough message. It almost feels like I have to say that whatever is not working, how it's not working, why it's not working, when it's not working, who it's not working with, there is a reason. There is a very pure, unadulterated reason. It's not good or bad, it's just a reason. There is a truth, there is justice, there is an explanation for these things. Sometimes you might not like the explanations, you might not know what they are, but this is, to me, the situation card here is telling me that it's like, it's really important that you know that whatever is not working is perfectly just, okay? It's not working for a reason. On the other hand, through the magic of tarot illumination, as you know, I don't do reversals. Whatever is working has reason and justice and good karma behind it. I don't know why we've got so few readings tonight, but they're very big. They feel very big, okay? So what I'm sensing here is that this is a very tough message. Like the situation is to do with justice, the facts of life, the reality, the really, it's almost like a harsh, like reality check that everything really is exactly perfect for you right now, Gregory, the way it is for your life. Everything about your life, including love, the opening of the heart, the sharing of heart energy, the receiving of heart energy, it's exactly perfect. And so justice is being served in that regard. However, whatever it's like the really important, the hidden message is that whatever is not working, there's a reason behind it, and whatever is working, there is logic and reason and explanations behind it all. Okay. Now, what are the challenges here? Okay. Okay, to me it feels like the challenge is like having an outlet for expression. An outlet for expression in a reading like this would be, it's almost like God help me. I wish there was an actual person on whom I could lavish my love energy, and on whose loving energy could be lavished on me. And it feels like it's so tied in. The ability to express love, the ability to receive love in such a rich, pure, and simple way is a real problem, because there is still stuff that needs to be understood here in the actual three-dimensional physical realities of life. In other words, the actual, like the Saturn karma stuff. In other words, wow, well, I am this person, Gregory Ross. I've done that, and that. I have this, and this, and this, and this. I am known for that, and that. I can't do that, this and that. I can't do that, and that. And so you have this collection of energies that kind of define you as a person. And you get to this point of frustration, like there's this, like, really, to me this feels very frustrating. Like, okay, well, thank you, Tarot Lumination, for that, but I was hoping I could have a simple answer how to open the heart more. And the thing is, the answer lies hidden, because it's like the problem is, like, when you have the heart energy that's like locked in and broken, it can't be expressed. You can't share it in a way that is in the fun, just fun, happy way that you would love, that you deserve. There's a reason why it's not happening, but we don't necessarily know what that reason is. So how are we going to deal with that? Whoa, goodness, we got the Four of Wands here. Okay, my feeling is, and this is going to sound really weird, Gregory, I'm serious, this is going to sound extremely strange. I hope you don't mind. God. It might be an idea to throw a party, or to have an event, or create a scenario. I mean, I couldn't do it in Los Angeles. You can't meet in public. People can't go anywhere or do anything. But I think you're in New Mexico, and so if you haven't had a complete lockdown yet in New Mexico, it might be an idea to send out an invitation or invitations to certain people, perhaps not just one, but perhaps several people, simply to enjoy yourself, to actually just simply experience joy, to do something silly, to do something fun. And that would include like an invitation, like an extended invitation to, like, in other words, sorry, Gregory, this is sounding really strange, and I don't know where it's coming from, but it's just like, it would be really good to host some kind of get-together, even if it's just, meeting somebody at a wine bar or something like that, but preferably more than one person, where you get to share some fun and happiness and just frivolities, whatever it is. Do something fun that you really, really love to do, and create an environment where, basically what I'm feeling here is like, the way to handle the frustration of this and the pent-up energies that are going on here is to find an outlet. And the way to find an outlet is to deliberately create an outlet. In other words, you can't wait for a solution here. It feels like you have to initiate a solution where you realize, like, okay, I can't afford to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be permanently figuring out the solutions to the karma that I don't know, and living within the karmic, like, limitations of what I do know. I need this now. I want this now. I deserve this now. Someone else deserves this now. So the solution is like, okay, just accept that justice will be served, but you can't do it from a point of paralysis or stagnation or just being pent up. You have to do something with this pent up energy. And I think the thing to do is basically sort of have a party. I don't know what that means, like going to the right place with the right people at the right time, but not just coincidental, not just going to a place where stuff happens. I know that the United States is kind of on a lockdown with like social distancing and stuff, but if you could create maybe a private event where like you could invite people over or go to a place where you can still convene with a group of people, and maybe one of those people is somebody who happens to be a person of interest. But instead of being, cloistered in a one-on-one situation, you turn it into a fun situation. So it's just basically fun to hang out, and then it allows this pent-up energy to flourish and flow, and it becomes fun, and then you kind of get back into being Gregory Ross and having fun and being happy, and that's how you open the heart. It means deliberate intention, having to take action. Love is as love does, okay? Now, Justice. Yes, Gregor, I see your notes there. Yeah, so, but we're talking about heart energy here and opening up the heart. And I think, maybe you do have reason to celebrate. If you do have a reason to celebrate, it might be an actual idea to actually celebrate. Instead of thinking about it, maybe actually doing something about it. And that could include, I don't know, it doesn't even have to be like a physical love thing. We're talking about platonic. We could talk about love in the way that it's just like having the heart open, having the healing power of love moving through your heart from up above, so you can experience joy, fun, happiness, excitement, the thrills of loving and being loved, the thrill of being in an environment where like you are appreciated and others are appreciated, and it's almost like you get to be a host. Okay? So that's your reading. I hope you like it. I hope you get something out of it. Of course, you can reinterpret as you wish. Okay? You've seen the cards here. This is the 9 of Wands. This is the Justice. This is 8 of Wands. This is the 4 of Wands. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, I had another song I'm going to play. I hope I can get this into work. Give me a second here. You know what? This might be a really weird song. I'm trying to stay uppity and positive. Give me a second. Hold on a second. I've got an idea. I have a small repertoire of songs here. And thank you, Gregory. Thank you. Do you mind if I play a song? It might sound like it's a bit of a downer, but at the very end of the song, everything makes sense with the lyrics, okay? So I hope you'll bear with me. It might sound like it's like a really sad drinking song for someone who's really miserable at a bar, but it's more than that, okay? I'm going to see if I can do this. If it works. Hold on, okay? Here it is. Brace yourselves. Okay. So pretend Terra Lumination is Elvis Presley. And we've got a really good backup band and some really good backup singers, okay? And it's got that kind of slow waltz. Here we go. It sounds like this.
There's a place that I go for the brokenhearted. There's a place that I go when I'm broken hearted. It's a place where everyone gets in the door. Whether young, burnt out or old, or when some complimentary love, then you're free to slow dance on the floor. In this place that I go, there are others just like me. There's no shame, despite your pain, there's no blame allowed. Where the music, it lifts you up, it lets you cry, then gently sets you down, with no judgments, and you're not just a face in a crowd. Sometimes, when it's quiet, you won't have to wait too long in line. You enter and take your sweet time to pick and choose. So who you gonna tell your story to? And sometimes it gets so crazy, yeah, you'll be waiting for over an hour, but the bouncers, they'll find a way to squeeze you in for sure. Stop getting too sentimental. There's a team that'll tear you apart, then put you back together better, so you can make a new start. Yeah, yeah. And it's okay just to sing. Ooh, feel your pain. Sing it, oh, 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 oh. Just get it out, get it gone, then reclaim your heart. Bless the love that you've lost, then move on. There's a place that I go when I'm broken hearted.
So, it's not over, okay? The show's not over, Gregory. No, not at all. It's basically one of those, like, songs where, I don't know, have you ever, like, you know, it's a little bit like a Nashville thing or a Memphis thing, you know, you go to the bar and everyone's like, and everyone's kind of like that. And then suddenly the music comes on. Somebody walks in the room and it's the Gregory Ross party and everyone's like, oh, you mean it's actually okay? It's okay to get up and dance? Even though, oh my God. It's okay, okay? Yeah. Yeah. You can't be shy about this. It means either having to get out and about or host an event where you can get out and about. I mean, I might be really taking the reading to an extreme, but that's what I'm sensing here. It could be as simple as just, you know, inviting someone to a cafe, you know, or a wine bar or something like that. Okay. But it looks to me like it's very much about the initiative would be in your hands. Like you have to create the love from in here and create an environment, a situation where that can happen, and it has to be fun. Okay? God. Oh my God. So there we go. Now let's have a look. All right, so let's clear this one up. And I don't see any more readings here, so it's very lean for the evening. But we're going to do a group reading. I'm going to ask again, okay? Let's have a look. So we're going to do a group reading now. If there's I was just going to ask if there's anybody out there never been here before, never done this kind of stuff before, and you want to hang out, please do so. Okay, just type it in, and you'll see why I am asking you. You'll see that when you get here. Okay, so I'm just trying to make the circle a bit nicer here. Gosh, we haven't done a group reading for a while, have we? Jeepers, man. Hey, Gabby, just a question. Are you watching this on the big screen or are you on a smartphone? I know, because I think you told me once sometimes you watch these shows on the big screen. Like Netflix or something. Big screen. I was visiting friends a couple months ago, and they showed how to broadcast my channel on the big screen. And they chose one of my videos. And it was really weird. It was really freakish to see, instead of something that you just watch on your smartphone, you see it on the big screen. It was pretty cool. That's why I was asking. I would just love to see this image on the big screen. That's all. Big screen. See, I told you. All right. Let's have a look what happens when we do this. Now with the group reading, I get a bit trancy. I can really go like way off in outer space, so I have to be a little bit careful. Well, I can't really help it. It's just what happens. So I want to make the most of it. So right now, in case some of you have never seen this before, this is going to be a group reading. It applies for all of us here, including myself. And it's much more to do with like a heart-centered. I'll show you, because we're going to use the Tarot Lumination heart spread in a moment. And the whole idea is that it's kind of like a theme on this channel where we have to it's like, okay. So let me just do the intro. Let me just do it here. Hold on, stay there. Okay, so a lot of time we talk on the channel about how like the theme is like love thyself. Okay, it's on the top of the channel when you go to tarotlumination.com, or when you go to the YouTube channel, it says like love thyself. So it sounds easy, but it's one of the hardest things to do on earth, because so much of our lives we conduct from here upwards, from the neck upwards. Okay, like everything goes through our brain, all these senses, our eyes, our nose, our mouth, our ears, our touch, our everything, taste, all of that happens here. And so we feel like life experience happens up here, and all the processing happens up here in our brain. But none of that can happen without this, okay? And the limbic system and everything that's built into our guts and our nervous systems. And a lot of us conduct a life where everything from the neck down is the servant of the brain. And a lot of times that's not very healthy. So what I try to do on this channel, and in general with the Tarot Lumination kind of healing approach, is to try and flip it around so that the brain is the servant of the heart. Okay, if that makes any sense. So we come from heart and energy. So in other words, when we have to make a tough decision, we don't just make it from here. We process that decision through the heart center, okay? And it's hard to do. It's extra work. It's an extra layer of work. And a lot of times people don't want to do that. But that's almost like the secret to happiness. So instead of the head being the servant, instead of the heart being the servant of the head, which turns into sacrifice, which ultimately it's like a subtle form of self-destruction. When the heart is the servant of the head, we're actually harming ourselves. We might not know it or think it or believe it, but we are. Indirectly, perhaps. But when we make the head the servant of the heart, everything changes around, and your immune system grows. Your ability to love and be loved increases. Your perception of life, the world, people, everything changes. Sometimes really radically and profoundly. So that's what we're doing here. And the whole idea of this particular spread, Terra Lumination Heart Spread, is to try and, it's almost like, well, what messages do we need right now in order to help to make the head the servant of the heart? Because it's almost like the default setting of human beings is the other way around. And so it takes work. So this is hopefully helping us to get into that, okay? So that it actually does work. I hope that made sense. That's very advanced, Gabby. I just saw your note there on the screen. That's very advanced. That's very, very cool. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to shuffle this up, and this is for everybody, okay? All right, let's see. All right. I'm going to have to do something extra special right now on top of this. Give me a second. Because we're going to be here for a little while longer. And I want to enjoy the show just as much as you, okay? So I need a little bit of that just for a sip. Okay, cheers. Thank you. But for my own peace of mind, it's a very quirky combination, and I don't mix them directly, obviously. But I'm going to, just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'll be literally right back because I need an extra treat. Stay right there. Here we go. Finally, it's that time of the day. Over here, it's late in the evening. Over for some of you, it's very, very late. Probably after midnight. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Cheers, everyone. Mm. 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 My gosh, that's good. That is so good. It's like a healing balm. I only need tiny sips. Alright, cards are very well shuffled. We're almost ready to go. Dear invisible friends, please gather around close. Please help Terra Lumination to do what Terra Lumination does. And the same thing for everybody else out there watching. Please, I invite you to invite your invisible friends so that you can make the most of this, because they like this stuff. They love doing this stuff. Oh my God, I'm looking at the notes here. I can't believe it. Frittily, you're spoiling them. I mean, you're giving them like better food than a lot of people eat in third world countries. Okay? Well, there are some third world countries where they have amazing, delicious food, even though their lives might be miserable in other ways. Sorry if I offended anybody. I'm sorry about that. By the way, Fritterly, as far as I remember, you every now and again you put out some videos about the trash pandas, don't you? All right, here we go. Let's just cut this up. I'm just going to break it into a very gentle, even cut. So we have a nice, super clear random deck. Here we go. Everything will explain itself as we go, all right? So please bear with me. The heart needs what it needs, it wants what it wants, and it's just hoping that we, our conscious selves, are listening, okay? It's like a conversation, the conversation between the heart and the head. This needs to be known, this needs to be exposed. We have to reveal this to heal this. Most of our pain and suffering is contained in the heart, ultimately, even though we might think it's happening in the brain. Over here, what are we bringing in with us? Think of this as legacy energy. Just imagine we're all coming into a meeting and you have to sign into the desk and you have to basically say, Terra Lumination says, okay, well, what's in your pocket? Empty your pockets, put it on the table. Everybody has to put their stuff on the table. No smartphones, no cell phones, because we're going to have a meeting. So just put everything on the table, and each person has their own individual story, but there is a collective theme here. And that could be anything like, oh my God, my life sucks. Oh no. Or like, I'm really puzzled about the way things are going right now. Or like, can you see the miracle in what's happening right now? Whatever that is. Legacy energy, okay? Over here, the healing power of now. This is the energy of now. This is the place and the time where a lot of people struggle, because to be completely pure and present, where there's no awareness of the past, there's no projections into the future, sometimes it's very uncomfortable, because it means having to surrender to, like, love. It's surrendering to the healing power of love, to surrendering to that which is. And sometimes our physical three-dimensional realities in any specific moment can be really, really painful. And if we try to avoid that, it's just like we're not helping. So the best thing to do is, if we can, to stay as deeply present as possible. That is the power of now. That is the healing power of now. So how do we do that? We do that through the process of decision making. It is a divine gift that we have as human beings. It's a gift that we've been bestowed with to make decisions, okay? Conscious, deliberate decisions. We can override the limbic system. We can override our natural, let's say, limbic reactions, our gut reactions, and we can make conscious decisions to change our behavior in a way that serves the heart energy in the toughest way possible, which is to love thyself. The toughest decision is to love thyself, okay? So we need to know the energy influencing that. And then once we know that, how do we do that? How do we implement that? How do we make those decisions? That's what this energy is here. And then over here, this is a card of, like, let's say, outcomes. In other words, we start to realize, oh my God, it's a process. The art of decision making brings us closer and closer from head to the heart. And then you can learn it becomes a process, okay? And then that process has an outcome. Decisions have outcomes. So what does that look like? And this is like more like a spiritual perspective over here, where we have to realize that this is a process. And in the process, what happens if we make a decision not to decide? What happens if we make decisions to abandon ourselves, to abandon the decision to love thyself, and we outsource all our decision making to some sort of so-called higher power or higher order, which is already prescribed, in a way that we never have to make decisions. All we have to do is follow the book that someone else or other people wrote. And sometimes we can lose when we go that way. So this is it's very important to be true to our own hearts, okay? So here, what happens when we abandon ourselves? What happens, of course, the flip side energy is what happens when we stay true to ourselves and we do make the tough decisions. Over here, this creates a momentum which leads to the next beat of the heart, okay? So this becomes a flowing thing. I hope you can see this is a heart shape here. This is a big flowing thing. And what happens, it's a pulse, like do-doomf, 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 And in a healthy, loving heart energy, each beat of the heart is fueled by deliberate conscious decision makings to stay in heart energy. So our brain feeds the heart. Our consciousness is tuned in to feed the heart, and our head becomes the servant of the heart. Okay, that's the whole point of this thing. Okay, let's have a look. What's the heart saying? The heart saying is just like, the heart is, this to me feels like a very, very, very loud message. Please understand, everybody who's watching this channel, watching this video, please understand how wealthy you are. Please understand how wealthy we are as a family, as a group, as an entity, as a being, as a phenomenon, okay? The heart wants us to know that. We have tremendous love here. We have tremendous love, the ability to share. This is legacy energy. This is the energy that has taken, lifetimes, multiple lifetimes to build for each one of us to be here at all and operate at these frequencies, okay? And so with the Ten of Pentacles, the heart is saying, please, no matter how stressful things are outside there on planet Earth right now, please don't forget how really incredibly wealthy and abundant we are, and that we will figure things out, okay? And the heart is kind of giving like a big, feels like a big group hug, and you can actually feel it with all these pentacles. It's real, it's measurable. It isn't a fantasy, it isn't a concept, it isn't a thought, it isn't a feeling. It's real, it is genuine, it is measurable, okay? There is evidence, there is deep, rich, ample evidence that we have massive heart energy here, and the heart just wants you to know that, okay? Thank you, Gabby girl, correct. All right, let's have a look. What are we coming in with here? Our legacy energy. Okay, look at this with the Seven of Swords here. Let's admit it. Let's be honest with each other. We've been skating through, we've been skirting through, trying to see whatever we can get away with, however we can get away with it, to get by without actually having to do some of the really heavy lifting or some of the really, really deep loving commitments that we have to do to stay in this energy all the time. It's actually, let's just admit it, the heart is basically saying this is just a reminder of how rich and abundant we are, but it's also a reminder that like you don't have to be like on high alert all the time, but remember that this is there, okay? And my feeling here is like this is a very gentle reminder that we're all, if we're honest with each other, we've been all taking a lot of shortcuts. We've been all like trying to cheat and trying to get away with things, like telling ourselves like, oh yeah, I'm loving and I'm loved, and yeah, that's really cool, and but we're not actually doing it. It's almost like, let's admit, each one of us has been lying to ourselves a little bit, cheating ourselves a little bit, not being fully compliant with the heart's demand to be fully in heart energy and center. And it's almost like the more and more we evolve and grow as human beings, the more and more we are being called to be this way, where the love, the energy comes from within, and we're scamming ourselves, we're cheating ourselves, we're trying to kid ourselves that we can buy happiness, we can get wealth and abundance through credit cards and savings plans and finding ways to get rich, so we can almost like trick ourselves into feeling like we've got it all figured out. And if we're all honest about it, we know that it's actually not true. Okay, now what about now? What about what's happening right now? Okay, with the Empress. Oh, look at this super high-powered energy here. So, like, when I'm seeing this, oh my gosh, do you remember the other night when Joanna the Medium was here? Ha! Do you remember Joanna the Medium? Yeah, she's got this big channel for psychics and mediums, and she does mediumship. She's actually called Joanna the Healer now. Well, look at this. I swear to God, that's Joanna the Healer. Anyway, let's get back to the reading. So my feeling is with the energy right now is like To me, this Empress is going very strongly here with the Ten of Pentacles. Let us be aware. Let us remind ourselves that we are the creators of our own happiness. We sow the seeds to our own happiness. We are constantly sowing seeds of love, or sowing seeds of hatred, sowing seeds of negligence, sowing seeds of oblivion, sowing seeds of happiness, joy, cultivation, whatever it is. Right now, I think what's happening with the Empress card is that it's a really, like, it's shouting. This energy is really, really shouting, like, please be aware, everybody, that in terms of the collective, we are creating our destiny as we go along. We have created it. It's a very beautiful thing that we have. This is very deep earth energy. We have an incredible thing called planet Earth. We have this amazing phenomenon called life, called humanity, and it's fertile, it's an abundant, and it has figured its own way out how to almost operate like a perpetual motion machine, and humans are the number one experts at doing this. Actually, you could argue that viruses are even better at it than human beings, but it's a loud message to understand. This is, to me, it feels like it's a very, very powerful karmic energy. Like, be aware of the seeds that we are sowing. Okay, the now energy, like every moment in time, we are sowing seeds. We are planting seeds to our future, and we are harvesting the seeds and the outcomes of our past. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you, everybody. This is a shout. This is a very loud shouting message, and it's correlated very closely with the Ten of Pentacles here. And this is a good thing. It's a good thing when it works, but it's a really bad thing when we're cultivating seeds of sorrow, seeds of misery, seeds of exploitation and consumption and greed and gorging on, let's say, gorging on our wealth simply because we can. In other words, just getting really fat, or really, really, let's say, overindulged because we can. That's not acceptable. The Empress is basically trying to stay neutral. Please understand your power, your ability to create your own happiness, your own wealth and abundance, and at the same time, the ability to create your own demolition, your own destruction. It's how you plant those seeds. Okay? So, over here, we have some really tough decisions to make. It feels to me like we're under a lot of... Hold on, I forgot something. I forgot something earlier. What is the influencing energy? Okay? Influencing all of this is the King of Pentacles energy. Again, this King of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles and the Empress here, it's all resonating very, 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 very loudly. I think this is very much to do with the Capricorn energy. It's almost like, please let us not forget. We are in a monumental time in history as represented by the massive stellium, the massive coalition, the massive coalescence of all those planets in Capricorn, and how it's going to be with us for a while, most of 2020. And the King of Pentacles wants us to know that there's a good side to this, and it might be very, very tough. The King is doing what the King of Pentacles has to do in order to maintain the goodness in life, the goodness of the kingdom, the goodness of the world, and the makings and the infrastructure and the structure of the world. And the King of Pentacles is not going to let it go to waste, okay? It's not going to happen. So we're being called. To me, it feels like there's a lot of pressure on Earth. There's a lot of pressure on our physical reality as human beings. Like, forget your prayers, forget your meditations, your concepts, your theories. We're talking about heavy-duty physical reality here. We are, humanity, with all that Capricorn energy, we are being pounded, crushed, pulverized, ground into a huge wake up to the reality of what we're doing with our lives, planting seeds, incredibly rich, fertile entities that we are as human beings. Are we going to sow seeds of our own destruction, or are we going to sow seeds of our own abundance? So that comes down to decisions over here. The Queen of Swords. Okay, the Queen of Swords, to me, it's telling us like every decision has to be utterly and ruthlessly processed through the brain and then filtered back through the heart and then back up to the brain for execution. Okay? And any decision that does not comport with this, and this is unacceptable. In other words, no more cheating allowed. We're no longer allowed here on this channel, or in fact for the whole of humanity, to keep tricking ourselves and fooling ourselves that we can live on debt forever. In other words, we can't, as a human race, as a species, we can't just keep living on a permanent, perpetual credit card. Okay? There comes a time where the books have to be balanced. The Queen of Swords here is saying, like, for this to happen, to live authentically and truthfully, we have to like get back to basics, get back to earth, the raw nature, the raw facts of how things actually work on this planet. And sometimes we're going to have to make very tough decisions that go against our nature and do the decisions. We only make decisions that comport with planting seeds of love. So that requires a lot of mental processing, huge amounts of, I think, like humanity is being forced to do huge amounts of mental, psychological processing, like what's happening with the news, politicians, corporations, all the stuff that they're going to figure out have to do. They're going to have to cut. Each one of us in our lives, we're going to have to cut away anything that is untrue. Okay? So how do we do that? Because that's really hard to do. Okay? So we have to, first of all, be aware that the decision-making process is fundamental in the first place. Okay? So you can't do what has to be done. We can't do what has to be done unless we are prepared to make really tough decisions. Sometimes those decisions require guidance, support, tuning in, getting extra information, sometimes checking with your friends, checking with your neighbors, getting perspective on yourself, like literally almost like calling up somebody, calling up one of your friends and asking them like, hey, I've got this issue with my life, I'm doing that and that. Do you think that's a good idea? And then, by the way, if you're willing to help me figure out my problem, I'll help you figure out your problem, if that makes any sense. I'll help you if you help me. We'll figure out our problems together. Let's tune into this stuff, okay? And I'm not talking about tuning into the psychic realms here. I know sometimes I think of this as like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and sometimes the inability to process that energy. My feeling is that this is very much to do with the physical realities of having to get our brain working as the servant of our heart and making very tough decisions. Sometimes we need to make those decisions with feedback and support from others, and others need feedback and support from us to make these tough decisions. And that's how we do it. We do it as a collective. Okay? Okay. So this creates outcomes. Okay, so to me it feels like we're creating outcomes where we come to this stark realization like, oh my God, it's true. It's actually freaking true. We have so much wealth and abundance and fertility on our planet available to us right now. And yet at the same time, we are demolishing and destroying and pulverizing the very source of our wealth and our abundance. I think this is very much to do with an awareness like, oh my God, all these like big issue topics that they talk about on the news, like, global pollution, overpopulation, healthcare issues, the global financial system, what's happening, oh no. This needs to come to the surface. You've got to reveal it to heal it. We need to know, and what we're doing here by this ruthless process of decision making based on a very simple understanding that we are planting seeds seeds of fertility and abundance or seeds of destruction, then you realize, oh my God, we're doing both of these things simultaneously. So that we have to diminish it. We have to find ways to optimize our wealth and minimize our self-destructive habits. And that might mean having radical life changes where we have to really respect nature a lot more than ever before. We have to, or we die. All the wealth and abundance that we might have means nothing if we're swimming in our own poop. And that goes for the whole planet and every single individual on the planet, okay? We are responsible. We have to clean up our own messes. And the way that starts is with us, the individuals. We have to look deep inside to ourselves and each other. What are the obstacles? What are the decisions that I have to make? What is it that I need to know in order to learn how to improve my game so that I stop taking shortcuts in life and fooling myself, and then we can do what has to be done so I can clean up my life, you can clean up your life, and we can start more effectively planting seeds for a better, richer future. So what happens if you refuse to do this? Okay? If you refuse to do this, then you're basically throwing everything you have away. You're basically trashing everything. It's just like, sometimes it takes one bad apple to ruin the whole basket, okay? So my feeling is that a lot of these decisions come from love. I know these are very intellectual cards here, but ultimately it's about choosing the loving option. And sometimes it's very, very hard to do. And if we don't do it, we're throwing away all the love. So the only thing you can do is, like, if you want to have a life of love and abundance, we're going to have to do some really tough, radical decision making here as individuals here on this channel, but also for the whole planet. And then we can reconfigure, recapture, and kind of build the love again in a way that works for every individual, and it isn't just for a few people who benefit. It's for everybody to benefit, okay? The healing power of love in action. That's what I'm sensing here. When we do this, when we treat this as a process, what we're doing is healing ourselves, healing the planet, maturing, growing, and evolving, and tapping into the healing power of love as an actual living force. So in terms of momentum, the Nine of Swords. So I think what happens here with the Nine of Swords is that it amplifies the process of creative destruction, okay? Like, for example, that whole Capricorn energy right now is in deep opposition to the North Node in Cancer. So you have this, when you have that kind of polarity, the Pluto opposite, okay, then it creates like a theme of creative destruction. So when we do this effectively, when we become really like vigilant decision makers, making really tough decisions to upgrade our lives, upgrade our behavior, stop fooling ourselves, do what is true, genuine, simple, honest, and pure, we're tapping into the healing power of love. And when we do that, we are exposing all this stuff, all the stress and all the awareness about like millions and millions of bad decisions that we've made as humanity, as individuals, that have led to our demise. And the thing is, it's like we have to be aware of what is not working in order to figure out what does work. And so I think what's happening here is, like, in this process, we become vividly aware. We expose, like, by making these really tough decisions and honoring this very simple code of understanding, we get to realize, like, my God, like, we have an unending stream of awareness about all the things that we've been doing to ourselves as humanity, to trick ourselves, fool ourselves, hurt ourselves, deny ourselves, blame others, damage ourselves, continuously making things worse and worse and worse and worse. We have to know what that is. And once you know what that is, then at least you have a chance to heal it. In other words, look at the virus. We can't fix that virus. They can't do anything for planet Earth about fixing that virus unless somebody grabs hold of that virus and does a lot of experiments in the lab to figure out what makes what, how it works, and how are we going to disable it. You have to know that, in other words, this is like we have to discover the DNA of our failures. Okay, we have to understand the actual, like the computer codes, the mental processes of how we destroy ourselves and how we destroy each other, how we undermine humanity, decision by decision at a time. We have to know what it is. You have to be able to identify, like, now I can see what I was doing wrong there. Now I can see how I was fooling myself, how I was cheating myself. So this connects with this perfectly, and you realize, oh my God, there is hope, there is a chance, okay? So you can start again, and then the next beat of the heart ensues. So that's the group reading, people. I know it sounded like I was ranting like some kind of lunatic on drugs, but I'm not. I'm just Tarot Lumination doing a reading, okay? So there you go. I hope that helps. I hope you can see that. It looks like an insane mass of colors from here, but to me it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'm really glad we did this after all. Okay, I'm going to check in with you guys. That is your reading. I'll let that sit there for just a second. I'll keep that there, but I'm going to hang with you for now. Hold on. I was not expecting anything like that. Cheers, everybody. I mean, you know, in a way it kind of makes sense because of what's happening on the planet. But I felt it was like two readings of one. I felt that it was like a reading for the whole planet, if that makes sense. It's like the whole planet needs to know this stuff. We just can't keep it here to ourselves at Tarot Lumination with like 10, 15, 20 people. We have to share this stuff. We have to live by example. And I wish that, you know, I wish there was a way to take these kind of messages and make them more comprehensive to the masses, you know, like you could put it in a little book or, you know, 10 bullet points, like one of those books like How to Improve Your Life, you know, How to Make Your Head the Servant of Your Heart. Step 1, do that. Step 2, do that. Step 3, like, okay, there's a million like self-help books out now. And it's like, I don't know how to do that. If I knew how to do that, I would do it, and I'd probably be, you know, a multi-millionaire by now, and everything would be just 10 bullet points, like Mindfulness Chapter 1, you know, and the 10 steps to mindfulness and everything like that. But I don't know how to do that. All I know how to do is, like, be completely in the flow of it and just give the reading at the moment. And if someone knows how to translate that reading into something that would make sense to like a non-believer, then go for it, you know, and let me know, of course. So I hope that made sense. 2 readings of one for us here tonight, just us, but it felt like it was a reading for humanity. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling. Cheers, everybody. So, if there's anyone else out there who needs a super chat reading, just put your money in the pot. Otherwise, we'll just sort of just hang out and then wrap it up for a while, okay? So, I'll just hang out here for a bit, see if anyone else needs something. Actually, no, I'm not going to just sit here and stare at you guys. I'm going to go and clear up the deck, okay? I'm going to shuffle that up and maybe you know, I'll let you guys chat amongst yourself, and I'm going to clear up the reading, okay? Let that sink in. If anybody needs to see it again, you can watch it on the replays, but mostly we're done. And I'll check in a little bit to see if there's any last-minute Super Chat mini readings for anybody, and we'll leave it like that. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. So there you go. That's your mini reading. I guess I could just call out the cards just for the hell of it. At the core, at the heart center, was the Ten of Pentacles. Okay? Legacy energy coming into the reading, Seven of Swords. But what about now? What about now? What about now? What about now? The Empress. And in the process, in the moment of now, what about our decisions? What about our decisions? Queen of Swords. So how do we execute our decisions? Oh no, oh no, oh no. The Two of Swords. Okay. And then what sort of outcomes are we looking at here when we understand this is all a process? Aha. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. And so, now that we are aware, what happens if we choose to deny or block our awareness? On the other hand, what happens if we choose to continue and tap into our ability, our decision making, to grow and evolve and adapt and change and blossom? Nine of Cups. And the outcomes here that lead us onto the momentum to the next beat of the heart. I know some people are scared of this, but it's like you've got to reveal it to heal it, because then you can actually heal it. The Nine of Swords, taking us back into the next beat of the heart. Okay? And all of this is influenced by King of Pentacles energy, which I personally correlate with the massive Capricorn stellium right now. Thank you very much. So let's have a look. There we go. Actually, you know what? We're done. So let's just wrap that up. I'm going to put these all away. I'll hang out with you guys for a little bit. Hey, it looks like Robin's heading home. Good night, Robin. Thanks for hanging out with us. Robin's going to start her April readings, everybody. There we go. Fritili's probably heading out to the backyard again in the middle of the night to load up food for the trash pandas. Next it'll be things like, peanut butter sandwiches, marshmallows, and potato chips. Perfect dinner. Perfect diet. Okay, I'm going to clean up the deck now. Hey, look, I just saw your note there, Robin. It says, holy what a great reading. Hard act to follow, TL. Don't worry. Just keep going, people. Just keep going. All right, now, I know some of you guys are actual members at the Patreon place. I'd like to have a show of hands. Is anybody interested in having a First Friday or something like that where we actually get together on the Terra Lumination meeting room? If anybody is, that's basically like what we do here, but it's much more intensive and it's direct and it's all in person and it's totally private and it's face to face. If anybody's interested, I'd be curious to know. I'd be glad to host something like that, Oh, Nikki's giving me the 4 purple hearts again. Thank you, Nikki. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just going to clear up the deck. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I have a feeling we're just going to wrap it up. I didn't see anybody come in asking for another Super Chat reading, so we're going to wrap it up for the evening. It's been a real pleasure, a lot of fun. Let's leave it at that for now. I'm going to have another sip of the good stuff here. There's so much more I'd like to do that I wish I could do, but I only have so many amount of calories and energy that I can expend each day. The shows, doing these shows is very, very demanding on the system, and anyone who's like an energy healer would understand that. So I know you guys that okay? Oh, look, look at that. Look what's happening right now. I think, Tina, it looks like, are you guys going to join the seance? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna hang out with you guys now. That's all I'm gonna do, okay? Oh man. So that was fun. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It's been a pleasure. Those readings, we only had a small number of readings, but for some reason, they have taken a great toll on my system. There was a huge amount of energy flowing through me to get those readings to you, because the readings come from here, they come into me, and then out the other side. I'm just a conduit. Okay, that's all it is. Okay. Frittily is opening an after party. Oh my God. It's like we're going back to the early days of Terra Lumination. Remember Frittily? Like we would do shows that would last for 4 hours or something, way into the middle of the night. And then Frittily would host an after party, and then everybody would go to the after party until dawn. I can't handle it anymore. I'm sorry, Frittily. I won't be there, but if anyone wants to hang out at the after party, Frittily is hosting an after party. Let's say she's willing to host an after party. So, Frittily, tell everybody what they have to do in case they want to show up to the after party, okay? I'm just going to hang out here. Remember last night we were talking about the seance and everything. I have to tell you, like, I don't know if you guys know this, Terra Lumination, I'm over here. My secret location is somewhere in Los Angeles, okay? Los Angeles is one of the big cities in America that's on a total lockdown right now. So it's very weird here. Normally, Los Angeles is just a pounding, never-ending, grinding city. It's not like New York. Like when you're in Manhattan, I used to live in Manhattan. I only made it for about 6 weeks, and I had to get out. I couldn't take it because I couldn't sleep. I was unable to sleep while I lived in Manhattan. The energies just didn't work for me. It's a fantastic place, and I have family there, but I can't live there. But LA is different. Everything's all spread out, and it's extremely active. It's like a beehive. It's like an ant farm. Many different layers, like a massive ant farm. And it goes to sleep at night. Okay? Like in Manhattan, it doesn't go to sleep at night. But in LA, it does tend to go to sleep at night. But it goes to bed at a reasonable time, and it gets up very early to get done what has to be done, because everybody has to commute. And sometimes the energy is really overwhelming, and it's just a massive surge. It's a massive economy here. It's an extremely wealthy city. There's a lot of money here, a lot of people doing big stuff with big money. And like right now, it's like there's nothing going on. It's like shh. It's very weird. It's very weird here. I'm kind of lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm used to being in a very compressed, like, little bubble where I live here doing what I do at the world headquarters for Terra Lumination. But I usually like to get out and about during the day on my walks or my bicycle. But even that is a problem now, because you're not supposed to go out. The governor of California has basically told everybody, stay home, stay indoors. You're not allowed to go to the hospital to visit your loved ones. You're not allowed to go for like just joyrides. You can go for walks of the dog. You can go to the shop to buy food. But if you don't have to do anything essential, you have to stay home. They have not yet issued martial law. We do not yet have the National Guard here telling us, like, stay home, stay home. but they are starting to build temporary hospitals in the hotels and in some of the huge car parks, sort of like what they're doing in New York. So anyway, that gets you up to date. I get out, I get around, you know. Okay, Gabby, you're sending the same message to me. Let's shut it down. Show is over. We will convene again very soon. Today it's Sunday night, Monday morning. It's Monday for some people. And we'll connect again very soon, okay? I kind of have to because I don't know what else to do anymore. I'm supposed to be working on the book, but the Seven of Swords in that last reading, when I do these shows, it's my excuse not to do the book. You see what I'm getting at about very, very subtle ways about how we cheat ourselves and fool ourselves? I know that I have to work on the book. I know that I have to do it, but it's incredibly hard work. I mean, as much work as it is to do these shows, and I love doing these shows, it's a lot of work. It's even harder work to do the book. So do you see see what I'm talking about? All right, let's wrap it up. I'm going to put the stage over here. I'm going to bid farewell. I'm going to put on some farewell sweet music. I'm going to put on I Am Guided, okay? I Am Guided. Let me see if I can do that right now. Hold on. Now, you know what? No, I'm going to put on I Surrender. Aha. I Surrender. How about that? That's what I'm going to do. This will be a better... Okay, so we're going to have this file. Okay. I surrender.
Oh, how the body craves. Oh, how the heart it aches. Oh, how the soul knows all of this. Feels like you manifested me in ways that match perfectly, answering my own wish for sure. So many lifetimes in the making. This time round there is no faking, no mistaking. I surrender. I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender. I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. There's no going back. Don't even have any maps to our new futures. There's only our next breath. We're so fully committed and so fully engaged, so courageous and fighters to the death, building bridges from your heart to my heart, forging bonds of structure, our new start. I surrender. I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender. I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. There's no way around this, only way out is through. There's no way around this, open the door to bliss. Only way out is through, that's what we're gonna do, yeah. surrender, I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace. I surrender. My hands are held up high, my knees are on the ground. I surrender, I surrender. I hand myself over to the mystery of your sweet embrace.